And Beijing TV visited one of the hidden nature sanctuaries of Barbados. And here we are being taken on tour by our tour guide, Jerry Pinder. The sword in his hands, well, that was for protection from the wild dogs, because we heard that there were some in the area, so we took the necessary precaution. Here we are passing some dunks trees, and they're laden with dunks. Well, we couldn't stop to get any. But we were in this area because we wanted to follow the natural flow of the underground stream. There's an underground stream that flows probably 2-3 miles up. So we're going to be following that stream right down to its natural end, and we're hoping to have to come in contact with some more wildlife. We didn't see any animals as yet. We know that there are monkeys in the area, but we've not seen any as yet. Maybe they're looking at us, but certainly we can't see them. So we set off to find that spring, evidence of water running, and we could hear it in the distance. So we listened carefully, and we made our way. And here you can see there is a flow of water, and that is what we were looking for all along. And as I said, it comes from some 3-4 miles up the hill, and we're going to follow this water flow down to the coastline where it flows into the sea. And there are numerous crab holes all around. The ground is literally perforated by these crab holes, very large ones at that. I'm not seeing any fish in the water though. I don't know, maybe we'll see some further upstream, or further downstream rather. We're seeing some grape trees, some coconut trees, some fiddlewood trees. There are a lot of dry branches, coconut limbs all along. The earth is kind of damp, as you can imagine. There's a stream flowing through this area, so as I said, the area is damp, saturated with water, so you have to watch your step. So as you can see, the stream is flowing, the sun is out, the water is glittering, glistening, and it is all, you know, it brings me in touch with nature. And it's a wonderful scenery down here. It reminds me of somewhere in South America, in the Amazon. I'm really amazed, you know, because I never knew that such places existed in Barbados. So as I said, we're going to follow the natural flow of the stream, and maybe we'll see some mini waterfalls along the way. So our tour guide, he continued along this path here. As I said, there are a whole host of different types of vegetation. I saw some almond trees as well. There are a lot of vines that are about the place, some in your face as you walk, but there's also, as I said, a lot of dry branches. A lot of them are the termites have been feeding on them. So as I said, it's really a breathtaking experience for me. Here we are looking at, again, some of the vegetation. You can see some coconut trees there in the background, and as I said, there's evidence here that man has been visiting this area, and that is obvious because it's even though it's secluded, It is not that far from civilization. There are a number of different types of rocks here as well. So we continued on our journey to find the end of the stream and probably to take a little walk down the coastline. Here we are looking at some of the palm trees, the coconut palms. And again, we're just trying our best to follow the stream down to its natural end. And as I said, it's really beautiful. Here we have the grape tree.
Almost fall. Huh? Almost. Let down.
And I almost fell down this little hill here, but I managed to get my bearings right. And as I said before, there is evidence that man has been visiting this area mainly for the purposes of the coconuts, either dry or for the purposes of the water. Here we have some evidence of someone has been hustling coconuts in this area. So we continued on, and by now we would probably been walking for close to half a mile. So as I said, the area it's awesome. It's breathtaking. You feel as though you are in the Amazon. And here we came across a termite, or maybe a wood ants nest on the top of a branch that stuck out of the ground. It was really interesting. So at one point in time I thought it was some sort of wasp or bees, but it turned out to be either one ants or a termite nest. So we continued on a track to find probably a mini waterfall. And the ground at this point in time was getting really wet. You know, my slippers were sliding all about the place. Maybe slippers were not the best thing to wear. So again, we're trying to find the stream, the flow of water. Again, another one of these very huge crab holes. Yes, and we have the water here. And we're just trying to follow the flow. And it's really beautiful down here, and I tell you, man, you feel as though you were in the Garden of Eden, minus the fruit trees and the vegetables. But it wasn't that hot. There was a nice breeze coming through the trees. So we journeyed on, huh?
Did they rest off?
and we were told that there were some mini waterfalls in the area, so we were looking for them. I had to step across this area here. And so far we have seen no monkeys. We've heard the occasional bird in the tree. We've seen some ants, but that is all. No, not even fish in the water. And of course, no sign of those wild dogs. It's really beautiful down here. And I never thought that we had such beauty here in Barbados. It was really breathtaking. So our tour guide Jerry continued on, and I followed him. I didn't know the area, so I was being led. Again, as I said, you can see the coconut branches, and here's evidence that again that man has visited the area. And I just can't stop saying it's extremely beautiful down here. And as I said, the stream that we have been following is an underground stream that comes from maybe 3-4 miles up in the hills. And this area is called St. Margaret's Village. And the spring, because I believe this water originates from a spring, and this is the spring that the Barbados Water Authority uses to get its water to pump to the people in the surrounding areas. So if you were ever to pass this area, you'll find there are a number of underground streams. Okay, and maybe the Minister of Agriculture, I think he has been looking at it, need to examine the possibility of channeling this water for agricultural purposes.
The grass? Yeah.
And we've probably traveled about a mile now from where we first started. Tour guide is just cutting some vines and so on to clear the way. Again, you see another coconut palm, and down in this area, they're covered with. This area is covered with coconut trees, I must say. The ground underneath our feet, damp. Not slushy though, but damp. Probably if you go close to the edge of the stream, it will probably get better. But it's damp, and as I said, there are a lot of crab holes. And I can imagine at night, if you were to visit this place at night, see those crabs all about the place. But we're seeing none, and we're seeing no form, very little animal life. So we're still following the stream down, because we are now going in a downward direction. We're descending now. When we started, we were more on a flat horizontal movement, but now we are, as we walk, we are going down all the time. So we're hoping to find that mini waterfall. No, we haven't seen any grass snakes either. We did pass some guys earlier, and they were inquiring about soldier crabs, and a lot of guys might pass this area to look for crabs to do some fishing, but they too said that they found it strange that they had seen none. As I just said, there are so far we've seen little or no animal life. I know there are monkeys in the area, but I've not seen them. Maybe they're hiding somewhere. And as I said before, maybe they're looking at us, but for sure we can't see them. Again, we're following the stream down. And this place is really beautiful. So I'm gonna take a risk here in my slippers. I'm gonna go down this hill. I'm hoping not to fall, because as I said, we're looking at finding one or two what I call mini waterfalls, and then from there we'll see if we can get to the coast. And here we have found what we were looking for all along, a little mini waterfall. And I tell you, it's beautiful. And I'm on the top looking down. And when I get down to the bottom, I'll show you what it looks like when you look back. And again, I never knew that these things existed here in Barbados. So again, tour guide Jerry was leading the way. I had to be careful because I didn't want to lose my camera, nor I didn't want to fall into the water. So he was saying that he would probably put something in there so the water can flow better. Oh, this is so beautiful, and the water is as clear as crystal, I can tell you. So this is really beautiful, and at this stage I started just to smell the salt from the sea, you know, and I knew that we were probably approaching the coast. By this time we probably walked probably a mile and a half or so down. So yes, there you can see in the distance the sea, you know, that means we're coming close to the end, and here we came across this huge termite or whatever nest. I can't tell the difference. Okay, right through there we saw the Atlantic Ocean. And just in front of that, there were some grape trees, the local sea grape delicacy that we love so much. And there's one similar to this in a place called Barbados in St. John. And whether or not the water is good for drinking, I I don't know, but I wouldn't recommend it. But bathing, again, I wouldn't recommend it. I don't know what is upstream and what the water flowed over. So I would recommend to anyone to drink it or to bathe in. Okay, but it's good. It's good for sore eyes. You know, it's good to look at it. It's soothing, relaxing. You know, and it puts you in touch with nature, right? So as I said, we've actually come from under where we were, and we've more or less reached the coast. And again, we're still following the natural flow of water to the seacoast. Right. So we approached the seacoast, and as I said, this coast is lined with a number of sea grape trees. Looking, if you were to look directly ahead of us, you see the Atlantic Ocean up there. I said we're along the east coast now. In that direction, you'll probably get Martins Bay, Bath. That's going south in the distance. So we actually have to cut our way through to make a road to actually get along the coastline where we could walk. And years ago, in the early 20th century, a train track was somewhere in this area, and a train actually passed through here. And this water, I believe, was here at that time, and we're trying to find an old tunnel where this water actually passed. And if you look here, you probably can't see it well, but I think that this is where the water is flowing now, and it still flows through that same tunnel. And probably when we get over on the other side, you'll see the tunnel I'm talking about. Because I guess that was done so that the water will not damage the bridge or the tracks. So we're actually out of the area now, and we're just taking in some of the breathtaking scenery along the coast. And this is an area that the locals call Roaches. And when I was much younger, I used to go down here and to take a dip in this little hole, this little water hole, which is just right here, yeah. But I think the hurricane and the storms that we've had over this is the area where I used to bathe when I was a little kid. But I think that the storms have taken a toll on the coast. It's eroded very, very badly, and it's not easy to walk. It's not easy to walk along. But nevertheless, it's still beautiful, and that's why St. John remains the way it is, you know. And this is the tunnel I talked about, and this probably went underneath the train tracks so that the water could flow out into the sea. So we continue on our path along the eastern coast of Barbados. Again, we're seeing a lot of grape trees that line this coastline. You'll see the occasional coconut palm. And from here we will be heading in a northerly direction, in the direction of Bashford, but we're not going to go that far We're going to go probably as far down as a place the locals call Pillis. So we're going to walk now, and we're going to go on to some grape trees. Again, the grape trees are on both sides. And it's really, again, beautiful down here. It's breathtaking. You can smell the salt from the sea, and it brings you in touch. It puts you in touch with nature. So we continue our trek along a narrow track. And at times our tour guide had to literally cut his way through. Again, we're just taking in some of the scenery.
Okay. If water block one, if water block one, right? You can find another way, you know. What? Who never? You need Steven Lovell? You need Steven Lovell? Huh? Man, yeah, it's a unique thing that I call them see photos and it's a unique something. Yeah. I don't want to go down and walk all the show here and there. Oh yeah. I'm ready. Try to grip. You work it. You got to grip him. Yeah. What is do? I just can't do the thing, right? You gotta go real, but what is this mute? What up? So why I would just mute the song for this one and add my own.
And we continued on, and by now we've probably walked about 2.5 miles, and we're still walking along the coast. And hopefully we'll see some of the train tracks, or what the remnant of the train tracks of the railway system that ran through this area. And here we're seeing the sea grapes, but they're not ripe as yet. So we were hungry, but we didn't have anything to eat.
Them ripen. Huh?
And at this stage, my tour guide lost his slippers and had to continue without shoes. Again, here we're taking in some of the breathtaking scenery. here along the east coast. Again, out here it's filled with coconut palms, sea grapes, and the occasional casuarina tree. And the locals call this rock Castle Rock or Ragged Castle, and it actually looks like a castle of some sorts. It's really beautiful, and there is a high surf advisory in effect, so you should be really seeing some very large waves. Again, looking down to the north, and in years gone by, all of where you see the sea coast here, where the sea is. At one point in time, a lot of this was land, because as you will see coming up now, very very shortly, you will see some, as I said, some remnants of the train tracks, and these are way out. So you would obviously imagine what erosion has done over time. And in other words, the sea is actually coming in and taking the land. Because at one time, a lot of this, yes, the train tracks are there in the distance. You can see them there. Maybe we'll get a better shot when we go a little further up. So we continue on heading further north in the direction of Bathsheba, but as I said, Bathsheba is still a good way off, probably 4 or 5 miles along the coast. But as I said, it's really beautiful down here. A lot of sea grapes lining the way on both sides, almost forming an arch as we travel through. And by now we could probably have traveled some 3.5 miles. And I want to get a good picture of those train tracks, or what is left of the train tracks, because as I said, trains at one time passed this area, but now a lot of it is the sea. And if you look down, and I'm going to show you shortly where those tracks are. I'm trying to find them for you, so you can see what exactly what I'm talking about. So we continue on again through the great trees, you know. And as I said, it's really beautiful, really beautiful down here. And I want to show you the yes, here you can see the remnants of the old train line. At one time, trains used to pass in this area, but as I said, a lot of that land has been reclaimed by the sea.
So who pushing off the air for you? Huh? Who pushing off the air for you? Hey, you. Who's gonna push off the air for you? Who's gonna push off the air for you? Who's gonna push off the air for you? Who's gonna push off the air for you?
So we continue on, and we saw some area that an area that was damaged by storm or Hurricane Thomas, and we see evidence of water eroding the soil there. And I remember in a couple years back, the Hurricane David or Hurricane Allen had taken a huge chunk out of this land, and the line in which people would walk became extremely narrow, and that's still the case today. A lot of the land was taken back into the sea. So we continue on. Again, as I said, grape trees line the area as we continued in a northerly direction. And it was really beautiful. As I said, you smell the salt from the sea.
Oh, yeah, look at a strange place to me. You're right. Yeah, but even people that got carried and things, they got some part of Barbados people don't know.
So we continued on this track that will lead us to a place in which the locals or those from the area call it Phyllis. Okay, and there's it in the distance there. Years ago it used to be a bathing spot, but I think the area has gotten too rough now, and very few people will go there to bathe. So I think that there are very few people in Barbados who know that this area exists. I believe this portion of land down here is owned by Charles Othniel Williams, and there's some rumor about that this area is being earmarked for development, but that remains to be seen. Again, we're seeing evidence of erosion. Years ago, I could walk straight across, but now I have to find an alternate route because erosion has taken its toll on the soil. And here I am taking a look back from whence I came. Just taking a little panoramic view of the area, and so we continued on, my tour guide and I.
But I just support that the most fast on, I think.
In total now we probably walked about 4 miles or so. As I said, we're heading to an area the locals call Phyllis. So we're going up a little hill here. And this is great exercise too. You know, anytime that you want to lose some weight, you can take a walk down here. It seems to be relatively safe. again, the area is lined with some grape trees, and on the right and then on the left there are a number of fiddlewood trees. So by then I was a little out of breath, but I was really glad and thankful for the exercise, you know. And I'm saying maybe I should do this more often. And here on the left hand side we came across a huge rock that was covered with some vegetation, a really huge rock, probably 16, 17, maybe 20 feet in the air. So again, we're heading north, and in the distance there you can probably see, yeah, here is a place, this is a place we call Phyllis. There's a very huge rock here in the sea. So just a little view of the area. In the direction there, there's a place called Glen Burnie, but we're not going all the way up there. So I want to get a good shot of the northeastern coast, all the way up to St. Lucie, North Point. Again, here I'm looking back, and this is Pilacy area where I told you about where people they used to go and take a bath. I don't know if they do now, but the area is pretty rough and rocky, rugged. But I want to show you down North Point, Catterwash, the East Coast Road. This here is behind me. Again, Martins Bay Bath. That is what you find if you were to go up that side. And that's where we came. If you take a look down now, you'll see Catterwash and East Coast Road and Bathsheba and St. Lucie North Point there in the distance. It's really breathtaking here. And that was the end of our trek, and we thank our tour guide Jerry for doing such a wonderful job. And hey, it was wonderful, and it was something that I will definitely do again. Totally enjoyed myself.